Alright, so you're going to see some video here about the 8163B, and I apologize because my camera got frozen in the first part and it missed most of the filming, unfortunately. But last time it snowed, I went to start the tractor and I hit the key and there's nothing. There was some kind of electrical problem, which I assume was something to do with the solenoid circuit and possibly a bad key switch. And I wrapped a rope around the flywheel and I pulled it 3 times and it started right up. So I used it, I plowed, and I said, well, on a warmer day I'll get back to it. So I figured that the most likely problem was a really nasty looking battery terminal on the positive side of the battery. So I bought a new terminal and put that on and figured that would be my issue, but it wasn't. So I also rerouted the wire to the solenoid, the hot wire that would feed the key switch, to come from the solenoid and go to the key switch instead of from the battery going to the key switch. I never liked that, and that's how it was. So the first part of the video got cut off, and you'll see what happens. Alright, so what we did is I ran a wire. Alright, so here's the deal. I ran a wire down to the hot side of the solenoid down here. It's hard to see, but down here on the bottom. And that's going to go up and feed to the back of the key switch. And the old wire was attached to the positive battery cable, which I don't like that method. So I'm going to hook up a new terminal on there and see what we got. It's a week later and my 8163B still isn't fixed, so I haven't had time to touch it all week. I've been busy at work, and it's Sunday afternoon now, and it's very warm. It's got to be 45 degrees out. It's beautiful. The sun's out. The birds are chirping. So let's see what we got here. Here's the game plan. If you remember last week, what I had done is we had taken off the bad battery terminal that I suspected was at fault, and we had relocated the hot wire down to the hot post on the solenoid that feeds the key switch. And as you can see with the key switch here, we got exactly nothing. So my thought is to next test the line that feeds the solenoid here to see if we're actually getting 12 volts to the solenoid when we hit the key switch. So what I'm going to do here is rig up my tester. And how should I do this the safest way? I'll just clamp this onto the ground up here, and I'll put this on the ground connection of my voltmeter, like so. And the easiest way to do this is just to put this on volts. There we go. And I'll clamp the other side of this wire right onto the lug on the terminal where the wire feeds it from the key switch. And I'll take this end, we'll clamp that onto the hot wire here. And just bear with me. Now I just got to make sure that doesn't actually hit anything while we hit the key. So let's see, I'm going to hit the key and we have no voltage. What do you know? 0, not a thing. So the next question is, do we have a valid connection in the back of our key switch here? And just looking in there with the naked eye, if you will, I can see some rusty, crusty terminals. So look at that key switch. It looks like crap, huh? So question is, do we just clean those terminals up and call it a day, or what? What I'm actually going to do is take the key switch out of the tractor. Just got to take this one nut off of there. Just bear with me here. Let's see. I loosened the nut with a pair of pliers off camera here. And let's see if I can do this one-handed. Not really. Alright, you get the idea. Now this key switch looks horrible, and I've suspected that this was the problem the whole time. And this is the Briggs & Stratton engine on here. I'm trying to figure out if this is a magneto switch or a battery switch. And it's a little hard to tell because all these terminals are rusted up good. I think it's a magneto switch. I believe this one here has an M on it. What I'm going to do is take this into my bench for a minute and just take my Dremel tool with the wire wheel and clean off these terminals. It was only using 3 terminals out of the 5, so you can see this plug down here only has 3 wires going in it, and it looks like it was using you can tell the ones that are slightly shiny. This one back here I believe is the M terminal, which kills the thing when you turn it off, and it was using this one here that says regulator, which is the charging circuit I believe, and this one here which goes to the solenoid. So let's see what we got. So we're going to just take this Dremel tool here and see if we can just hit these real quick and touch them up a hair. Maybe if I'm lucky I can actually read the letters that are on these terminals, because I'm having a hard time with that. Okay, let's see. So, we definitely have an R and M. Yep, that's R for voltage regulator, M for magneto, which is the kill, that's the back one there. And we have an S for a solenoid. We have a B for battery, and A for accessories. So, they weren't using this B terminal for battery, which is what's boggling my mind, because when you use the solenoid, like it normally would connect the battery here to the S terminal here, which would send 12 volts to the solenoid to start the tractor. So it's really weird. Anyways, on a Kohler battery ignition, there's an I terminal for ignition, which sends power to the coil. So let's see if we can dick around with this some more and see what we got. What I decided to do here is I clipped off all the wires from the back of my plug, and I wired the solenoid hot wire up to the battery B terminal, and I ran the solenoid to the S terminal, and I chopped off the magneto wire and ran that to the magneto terminal. So I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm going to give it a shot. Let's see what happens. Nothing. What the heck's going on with this piece of junk, huh? Is the problem with my solenoid or what? But I wasn't getting any power to the solenoid. Got my terminals here hooked up. Oh shit, they're hitting each other. Don't hit each other. Let me put my key in, turn it, see if I have energy. Nope, I got nothing. So those two should be engaging, I believe, when the key is in the start position. Let's see. If I put it... Yep, yeah, it's definitely a bad key switch, for sure. So, yep, we got nothing. The S terminal is not talking to any other terminals here. It's not talking to the battery terminal or the voltage regulator terminal, and it should be. So I believe I have a spare one of these key switches in my garage, so let me go check. So my camera battery died on my stupid iPhone again. It does not like the cold weather, it just dies. And I don't understand how they had it hooked up to begin with, but whatever, I'm doing it my way. Someone apparently took a shortcut down here in the wiring, and this wire right here is actually the charging wire coming off the stator on the engine
which they have plugged onto the battery hot side of the solenoid to backfeed the battery to charge it, instead of going up into the key switch. Either way, it's the same thing. It's just taking a shortcut on wiring, I guess. And so I got the new key switch in here, and I got my wires on there. Let's see if I put the key in, if we get any action. All right, we do. Now, the next question is, can we start it up? So, before I start a vibration here, let's take all this junk off of it and see if it will start. Now, put the choke on. Let's see. Oh yeah. Headlights still work? Yep, they still work. Alright, that's a good sign. Now let's see if the off switch works, if the magneto wire is actually hooked up properly. Yay, it is. Even better. So, apparently, all we needed was a little key switch. Not bad, huh? A lot of work for one dumb little part, I'll tell you that.